at this time, the best thing that I could do is to help people by answering questions about anything. And thank you so much for giving me those questions. Feel free to text me more questions. I'm going to try to do this every day. Tomorrow we're going to do it at 8 a.m. as well. At 9:15, Bruce Tollner, founder of Rep One, one of the world famous sports agents. We're going to talk about careers. I know a lot of kids are coming home, including mine. A lot of kids are losing their jobs. A lot of people are getting laid off and in transition. So we'll be answering questions tomorrow about careers. I'll answer some today, but Bruce Tollner is going to join me at 9:15 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow. I'll start at 8 a.m. You know those guys, they got to sleep in more than me. Anyway, we're here answering questions. Text me any questions at 949-298-2905, and we'll be running through those. Everybody, thank you so much. Remember, stay calm. Look first for stability, and then we move forward to other expansive opportunities that exist. Just looking on here for the first question, we're going to be doing some live phone calls. Justin says we got a bunch. He's just let me wave in the wind.
You warmed up?
I'm warmed up. That's it. These guys, remember, my team in here, we're all being safe. We're approximately 6 feet away from each other, except for Justin. But him and I have traveled across country, so we are co-exposed to each other.
Our immune systems are strong.
Our immune system. We don't want to spread it to anybody else. Right. Social distancing within our business.
Your call has been forwarded to automated.
0 for 1.
0 for 1, no message, but we got plenty of questions, and we're getting more and more. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
This is a good one.
Here we go. Good one. Answering questions. Here we go. Any comments? Let me know. Anyone on Instagram there that I should say hi to, like my wife? Julie's on there?
No.
Not yet? Okay.
This is Nikki Spear.
Nikki?
Wake Forest, North Carolina.
Here we go. We're going to be calling the whole world. This is great. Loving it. Are we live?
Good morning. This is Nikki.
Hey, Nikki. It's David Meltzer.
Hey, David. How are you?
I'm amazing. How are you?
I'm amazing as well. Absolutely. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Of course. Well, thank you for the question and allowing other people to share in the questions and hopefully the knowledge that we can share with them. What is the question, Nikki, that you have?
So the question that I had was, during this time and season, how do we gain new partnerships and sustain our nonprofit when people really aren't donating and all of that, right now?
Yeah, great question. I think this is true for nonprofit and for-profit. We have to shift our understanding about things. And number one, going back to Southwest Airlines, which I fly, they always say, when I fly there, if there's some sort of emergency or crisis, which we're having right now, put your mask on first, and then assist those who need assistance. And I think that's the first step. The first step for a nonprofit or a profit is stabilization. You need to make sure that this nonprofit survives the next 3 to 6 weeks, no matter what happens. And we also then, once understanding the stabilization process, we then go to the basics of the Dave Meltzer Institute of Doing Business, which is, let's go through our database of donors and partners and call them and ask a series of questions. How can I be of service? How can I provide value? And then ask a series of questions. Do you know anyone that can help us? Because when you go through the stabilization process, you'll find where your strengths, your assets, your resources are, the things that you're not worried about over the next 3 to 6 weeks. But you'll also find the holes and the weaknesses, the places where you are. Remember, every weakness moved to a different place is a strength, and every strength moved to a different place is a weakness. And so when we find those weaknesses or holes, if we can move those or shift those, we can create strengths within them. So the stabilization process is not only to secure your existence over the next 3 to 6 weeks, but moreover, it's to expose how you can be of service to others, as well as how others can be of service to you. And if we all take that approach, you'll find that we'll all come out better. People remember what you do for them in times of need. I have a great story about when I was in college going to law school. I was blessed to have a fellowship to go to every major league stadium and do research on antisocial behavior. I got to Chicago where it was the All-Star game, and I had no money, so I couldn't afford my friend's dad. Now, this wasn't a crisis, but I was in a time of need. Oh, my daughter's on?
Marissa.
Oh, see, Nikki, my daughter's, Marissa says hi. Hey, Marissa.
Hi.
I was in, as a 22-year-old, a time of need, right? And out of everything on this trip, my friend's dad paid for and got 2 seats behind home plate for the All-Star game where I sat with Ron Howard and Kevin Kline. And I'm 52 years old, and people ask me some of the nicest things that have ever been done for me, and that was one of them. And I just, and trust me, people have done so many nice things for me. This is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to allow people to give, to allow people to share their strengths, and for you to help them with their weaknesses. This is an opportunity as a nonprofit to truly show your philanthropic nature by providing and asking for help. And that's how I think everyone can help. And what an excellent way to start out. I really appreciate that. And if you need any further help, go ahead and ping me. I'll be here as well to help with your weaknesses and share my strengths.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Have a blessed day.
You too. Stay blessed. Stay healthy. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye, Nikki. Hey, Maris. I can't wait for you to get home. My daughter's on her way home from Tulane, one of the greatest universities here in America, and I can't wait to see her. And this time for me, I'm looking for different opportunities, and one of the greatest opportunities that I see is that there'll probably not be another time where I can spend this much time with all my children, and they pay attention to me. Some of the decisions that I'm making for my family, my kids will respect today, and some of the decisions that I make for my family, they won't respect in the future, and some they will. And I have to understand that I have a 9-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 15-year-old, an 18-year-old, and a 21-year-old, and all of them share different perspectives. All of them, I'm sure, are confused at the very least, and I want to make sure I'm dealing with their fears as well of not knowing. I will tell you one thing going on today is out of all the different things that I've gone through that are, kind of earth-shattering crises, 97, 2001, 2008, this is the most unknown, right? It's such a wide spectrum of opinions of what's going to happen and how it will happen. And once again, I see that as a huge opportunity for expansion and learning. If I can stay out of the anxiety zone and stay in the learning zone and raise my awareness, I can, like a butterfly, get stronger so I can fly higher. Right? This is an opportunity, like a butterfly, to build your wing strength by breaking out of a new cocoon that we don't know, right? And who knows what's going to be beyond this. I see that for everyone. Will there be some financial stresses? Absolutely. Will there be some fear? Absolutely. But let's practice ending fear. Let's practice finding our strengths. Let's practice filling our holes and our weaknesses. Let's practice asking a series of questions of how we can be of service and value to others. They'll never forget it. And also asking a series of questions by giving an opportunity to others to provide value to you. This is critical at this time. There's enough of everything for everyone. There's enough of everything. Let's not panic. Let's not hoard. Let's go ahead and share with one another our strengths and allow others to help us with our weaknesses. Who we calling now?
Enrique from Austin, Texas.
Enrique from Austin, Texas. I'm sending my love out to Miss Cassie's mom, who's in Austin on a respirator in the ICU. May you heal quickly. Hello, Stephanie. Al Manfrey, my man. Thank you so much for giving me financial stability during this incredible time. I will tell you, I'm one of the few people that's not worried.
Missed him.
We missed him. There's plenty of questions, so don't worry.
Yep.
So thank you, Mr. Manfrey, for helping me understand how volatility works and
Tell people
security
too,
works.
if they're sending their questions, to send their phone number too.
Oh, if you send your questions, JP over here, That's Just Stone. You heard of D-Rock before? That's Just Stone. He's the one. I want to give a little bit of a shout out here. I'm going to put out a video today at 3 p.m.
3 p.m.
3 p.m. Pacific time that I think may be the best video that Jay Stone's team has ever done. So if you want to check out Magic, it's taking what I've been doing for years, but capturing it, editing it, modifying it, amplifying it, and perpetuating it in the right way. But if you're asking me questions, if you can give me your phone number so I can go ahead and call you so we can share with everyone like we have with Nikki some of the advice over here in the next couple hours. Remember, I'll be doing this tomorrow. 8 a.m. I'll start again Pacific time and talk about careers will be changing here in the next 3 to 6 weeks. And I want to give those advice. Roberto.
Good morning, Roberto speaking.
Roberto, ¿qué pasa? ¿Por qué no comes la comida? It's David Meltzer. What's going on?
Hey, David, how are you?
I'm good, my friend. What's up?
Good. Trying to keep up, treading water. What's happening?
That's the first thing, man. We don't want to drown. We don't want to let others drown us as well. But I know you had a great question. I was hoping you could share it with everyone so we could help everyone.
Well, no, I really didn't have a question. I was just responding. I thought this is just a mass email you sent out or a text?
Text. So I send individual texts to people to get them to join. We're doing a Q&A today from 8 a.m. till 10 a.m. Pacific time. And then tomorrow again as well. And I'm going to have Bruce Tollner at 9:15 join me to talk about careers. Do you have any questions right now or any comments?
Is it just you and me on the phone?
Well, unfortunately, we are only ones on the phone, but there's probably a ton of people that are watching online.
All right. Well then, let's. I mean, we'll talk after this whole thing calms down. Because I mean, I wasn't prepared for something in the public between us. So
Yeah, that's okay. And if you need privately to reach out, feel free. Go ahead, DM, text me, whatever. I'm more than happy privately. I apologize, but it is great to hear your voice, and I look forward to speaking with you.
Yeah, we'll follow up. I know we started something back in January, so I just wanted to follow up. But this disruption, it'll be temporary. So when that happens, that blows over, we'll continue. Okay?
You got it, my friend. Be of service, help others, and stay healthy.
Yes, sir. We'll do it all the time. Thank you.
Take care, Roberto. All right.
This one's good.
Awesome. Eric, good to see you. Is Marissa still on? Julie? Miles? No.
I haven't seen him.
Miles sleeping. Miles made me run 20 miles this weekend. No joke. Sprints. I had my phone in my pocket. I was playing one-on-one football.
Tom Nelson.
On the sand, by the way. See,
That
I
burns.
cannot tell you how sore I am.
Hello.
Hey, Tom, it's David Meltzer. How are you?
Hey, David Meltzer. How you doing, sir?
I'm terrific. I was hoping that you had a great question for us to share with everyone.
Sure. I mean, my great question is, me and my classmates we're in grad school, sir, and we're kind of more niched down into the sports administration group, and we are going to be coming out here in May. Some of us have been looking for jobs, some of us have been getting interviews, and now with the entire sports industry shut down, you've got the economy next. We're all kind of up the creek here without a paddle. Any kind of suggestions as far as what we could be doing to help get jobs when we do graduate in May, or any suggestions at all as what we should be doing, who we should be talking to, or anything like that?
You got it, my friend. So let me change the way you look at things so the things you look at change. This is temporary. You've never seen it before. I've never seen it before. But I know that we will get through this. Tomorrow, by the way, I'm doing another one of these 8 to 10 as well. But Bruce Tollner is going to be joining me to talk about the specific issues with careers at 9:15 tomorrow. But moreover, let me give you some advice today. One, there's a ton of opportunity that exists. You're not ready to work till May. You're not graduating till May, correct?
Correct.
You're not at your college anymore, correct?
Correct.
You now have extra time to find your next opportunity, your first opportunity. And guess what? The sports world, out of any world, right, from the San Diego Chargers to the San Diego Padres to the San Diego Gulls, the worst teams of all professional sports will still be in business when this is over. And they'll still need people like you, Tom, And there's still many companies that are not utilizing their marketing budgets. They've had extraordinary growth over the last 12 years. They've had extraordinary budgets that can't be used right now. And there's going to be extraordinary opportunities for those people that can look for the light, the lessons, and the love in everything. And so right now is an opportunity to do research, to see other opportunities that you never known of. Don't just look on the surface. Be more interested than interesting during this time. You now have the ability, because you're stuck at home with your family, you have the ability to see all these different jobs, Googling, sports and entertainment business units in all types of different industries. The greatest jobs in sports are the unknown jobs, the ones like David Meltzer created and David Meltzer gives. Most people never went to sports management, graduate programs, undergraduate programs, law school, thinking that they'd work here for me, and yet everyone loves it. And I never thought when I graduated law school that I would be doing this either. There's tons of jobs, whether it's working for Scott's Lawn Care or CBD or esports or an automobile company or Old Spice or Sleep Number, or the list will go on and on and on. Start finding the real jobs in sports, the ones that pay, the ones you'll enjoy. And look, executives are less busy now, right? So they're less busy. So you have an opportunity to get in front of, at least virtually, so many different people that you never had an opportunity to. Those people that look for the opportunity, those people that change the way they look at things, and the things they look at will change, will find opportunities, and they'll actually be ahead of the curve come May if they keep a positive attitude. Those people that keep a mindset that, this is even worse, sports is difficult and competitive to get a job, they're not going to get a job. They never do. They never do. But you're going to get into the short pile of different jobs, different opportunities, because you're going to see this as a huge opportunity for you as a senior to find that new job and to get those relationships and to maybe even start interning while you're at home when you never had the opportunity because you were stuck in your last semester of college. Which, look, everybody out there, unless you're like a doctor or you're studying pre-med, let's all admit it. Last semester, senior year, the only reason you're upset you're not at college is you're missing the parties. Look, let's be honest. I'm just telling you, this is an opportunity to get focused and to grow up a little bit earlier. Yes, you can only party with your friends from home now, and it'll quickly shift. You're bummer that your fraternity sisters and brothers and all your groups and friends at college aren't partying with you. There's always people that want to party, and they will be there at home for you as well. But you have an extraordinary opportunity to accelerate your career. You can look back on this and say, man, I am so glad I had the opportunity to be at home. I know I missed some things at college my last semester, but I gained so much for my life and my career. Does that sound fair, Tom?
That sounds super fair, sir. I definitely appreciate the advice, and I'm definitely going to start banging out some people on LinkedIn right now, seeing if they can get on a call or something like that. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, man, and send me your resume, david@dmeltzer.com. Go ahead and send me your resume, and I'll see what I can do for you as well. At least I'll spiff it up for you and tell you what things and what you need to put in there that might be missing. Does that sound good?
That sounds good. David@dmeltzer.com.
David@dmeltzer.com. Go ahead and reach out. Anybody want to text me as well?
Send it to him right now, too, on community.
We're going to send it to you on community right now. So all my community has my email address, david@dmeltzer.com. Go ahead. Text me anyone. Tom, thank you. I know hey, when you get that killer job in 10 years from now, when you're running one of these teams or corporations, don't forget Uncle David, all right?
I got you, Doc. I appreciate you, David. Thank you, sir.
Be kind to your future self. That's living proof. Take care, Tom. All right. Text me at 949-298-2905. We're going to be doing this every day. Tomorrow, once again, we'll be doing this Q&A. You can see there's a lot out there. Bruce Tollner is going to join me at 9:15 tomorrow to talk about careers. There's a lot of you out there that have those questions like Tom does. You want advice, not necessarily in college, but you might have lost your job, got laid off, or worried about getting laid off. Make sure you reach out. Hey, hello.
David. Hello.
Dave.
Yes, sir.
David, it's David Meltzer.
Hey, David Meltzer, how are you?
Oh, I'm awesome. How are you?
Really good, thanks.
I'm just wishing that this smart water actually makes me smart. I've been drinking this for like a year now. I'm not sure.
How's it working?
I don't know. Myron Roll told me it was good, and he won the Rhodes Scholarship for not bad.
That's pretty credible. I take it.
Yeah, Jennifer Aniston's not too dumb either, so that works well. Anyway, I know you got a great question that we could share with our community. What's the question for today?
Yeah, I work with a lot of dentists who are managing dental practices, and now in a time of crisis with teams who are worried about the next paycheck. So I'd like to know if you have any tips on how to deal and lead teams in times of crisis.
Yeah. So the number one word of leading a team in crisis is values. And so what we want to do is stick to the personal values, the experiential values, the giving values and receiving values that are aligned with the stabilization of the business. And so we need to align all of our team to the fact that the main goal is to keep the heart ticking, both personally, right? Nothing good happens if we don't have our face mask on and we're taking care of ourselves first. Forget about money, forget about, all these other things, missing spring break or our trips to the Bahamas. Look, your only concern is to keep your heart ticking. And then secondly, let's keep the heart of the business ticking so that 3 to 6 weeks from now, whenever this shall pass, that we have a business here. Because you and I both know that just like the sports business, the dental business is going to be here, right? People, I actually have a dental appointment next week and was wondering if they're going to call it off or if I can't go or can go. But I promise you, the minute they open back up, I'll be calling in for my appointment.
For sure.
So what we need to do is keep the heart ticking. We need to stabilize that. And also, it may be a time to be creative and have everyone on our team think about, what I have a chief betterment officer. And make everybody in your company a chief betterment officer, because we now have time to think about and look at things and to activate things that we've never been able to do before. I actually have a full-time employee, and his job only is to walk around all day at the facilities, at the softwares, at the people, and walk around all day and just ask himself, how can I make this better? Ask the people, how can we make this better? Because my philosophy is, regardless of what I paid, and he's one of my highest paid employees, the margins that I make from him, because he's looking every single day on making things better, is minuscule compared to what he costs. And the same would be true for your team. So if we can get our team to understand the personal experiential giving and receiving values during this crisis, knowing that first and foremost are the health of them and their families, to keep their hearts beating. And then if we could then take measures in order to stabilize the heart of the business so that it is just up and running, right? Because the one thing I know about every business that I ever have is my goal is to guarantee I'm going to be in business tomorrow. And I want my team and everybody on that same page. So let's look for the opportunities that exist, because we may have a little bit extra free time. And maybe the opportunity that exists is one that I'm taking advantage of, is just spending time that I'll never be able to spend with my kids, all 4 of them, all at once, because ages 9 to 21, it's very rare to get them home for a weekend, let alone for weeks.
That's so valuable. Thank you for your work, and thank you for your insight and your generosity, especially during this difficult time.
You got it, my friend. Stabilization, then opportunity. Thank you, David. It's a great question. I'm looking forward. You have a great day. Everyone has different perspectives in different businesses, so please reach in. I have a wealth of knowledge from being a business advisor, consultant, coach, VC, looking at thousands of businesses, working with thousands of businesses, understanding the critical business issues in different areas. So the more we share, the more we can strengthen this heart that we have as a business community, as well as personally and philanthropically. This is an opportunity to expand and grow. This is an opportunity to get stronger. This is an opportunity to learn the Meltzer kaleidoscope of how to be productive, how to be accessible, and how to be gracious, no matter what the circumstances appear to be in these types of illusions. So my wife's calling. Hey, I'm online. Yeah, 8 to 10.
Hello.
Hi, who is this? Adina?
Who is this?
Hi, this is David Meltzer.
Oh, hi, how are you?
I am great. Thank you so much for giving me a question.
Oh, thank you for calling me.
Awesome. Can we share the question with everyone?
Yes, please.
Awesome. Can you go ahead and repeat the question for us?
Okay, so constantly I feel like my struggle in the work environment is being able to still feel, that you can assert your needs and be assertive, yet value, know your place, know your boundaries, know where you stand, and not come across, I guess, as overstepping when discussing, crucial things, let's say, such as quarantine or things like that with the bosses.
Yeah, that's a great issue. So whether it's the quarantine issue, whether it's the comfort of even coming into work, whether you have other issues you may be afraid to or you think are inappropriate, every question that you have in a work environment is appropriate. You just have to make sure that it's appropriate of how you ask, when you ask, and who you're asking. So, within your organization, there's certain people, in most situations, a sensitive issue you don't want to bring up in front of everybody. So, number one, the more private a conversation is, the better. And then picking the right person, whether it's an assistant manager, director, executive, or the CEO or chairman, there's a certain level of person that you can express in a positive manner your questions and concerns, especially, and everyone here at my company knows this, especially if it concerns your health or the health of your family, friends, or community. That's priority. And so, you should never feel uncomfortable about asking questions about quarantine, or if you're not comfortable coming into work, and somebody's forcing you to come into work or threatening you with your job or whatever, that just may not be the right place for you to work. So this is a blessing for you that this has caused you to find out that there's something better. Sometimes negative things, at least in my life, I believe this to be 100% true. All negative energies in my life are pushing me towards something better, not away from something better. They're pushing me towards a greater understanding and a greater relationship with what I'm doing, or it's pushing me to something absolutely better. And so we can't be afraid to align with our own values and express our own values in an appropriate manner. So usually more sensitive issues should not be brought up into a group setting, should not be talked about behind the backs of the executive, but simply whatever is concerning you, you should draw and bring up to a certain person at a certain level in private and allow you to share that. And if the answer to your question is not one that's aligned with yours, then make the appropriate decision, knowing that although I may lose my job, or I may be laid off, or something else may happen, that this is pushing me to something better. And you do not want to jeopardize your values. Remember, our personal values start with our health, our happiness, our family, our integrity, our character, because in the long run, the truth vibrates the fastest. And if we're not aligned with our personal values, experiential values, giving and receiving values, we're going to be in deep trouble, especially those personal values. Things will never work out in the long run if our personal values are not aligned. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, if I can add to that, I think sometimes it's a double-edged sword where they wrote kind of, if you really feel like you can't come in, but we want you to come in. So that's kind of where that feeling doesn't make me feel so, it kind of feels like you have a choice, but you don't have a choice. When companies do things like that, that's where I get very uncomfortable.
Sure. And, it is because we're not comfortable with the integrity of who's putting that out there, right? If we were 100% comfortable with the integrity of someone saying, hey, it's up to you, which is, believe it or not, the exact message I gave to everyone in my own company. I said, look, if you don't feel well, or you think you don't feel well, or someone around you is not feeling well, don't come in. But if you feel well and you want to come in, but everybody is going to be paid and nobody is going to lose their job as long as this company is open. And everybody is making their own decisions with no judgment because they trust the integrity of the message. If you don't trust the integrity of message, that's something to think about through this period. I would say if you have the opportunity and have been given the choice, then make the choice aligned with your values, your personal, experiential, giving and receiving values. I would not base my decision off an insecurity that maybe there's some sort of trick or I don't trust them. Work and live from the integrity that you want, have it within you, and that's what you'll receive. And you'll feel much better. You're wasting too much time and energy and emotion on that anxiety, right? So trust in it. If someone gave me the option to go to work or stay home, and I wanted to stay home, I would stay home. And if I wanted to go to work, I would go to work, and I would not question what was being said. That's just a waste of emotion, okay?
You're awesome. Thank you so much. So much appreciation for everything you do.
Anytime. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Cool. So, we'll be doing this.
He's got a question. We'll call next.
Sure.
Thomas.
Yeah, we'll be doing this again tomorrow, 8 a.m. till 10 a.m. This has been really good. We got tons more people to talk to. Keep it going. We'll tomorrow though, 9:15. Bruce Tollner is going to join me about careers, and he's built an incredible business with Rep One, and especially those involved in sports and entertainment may want to leverage two different perspectives of Bruce and I. It's always nice to hear somebody else. Hey, Thomas, what's going on? It's Dave Meltzer.
Hey, David, thanks for calling, man. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you.
I love your page. Super inspirational. And especially for me, coming from the NFL, and that's kind of what my question is.
Go ahead.
So, a lot of former, pro athletes, once they retire, especially if you have a long career, a lot of guys have a hard time transitioning into other things because, professional sports are so time consuming and you have to really, really love, the game, to give as much as we give to it. And sometimes guys retire, like I did at 33, and then you're kind of like, well, what do I do now? I guess, I was able to find technology and business as something that, I felt was very interesting, but I had to develop a love for it. What advice would you give for former pro athletes when they retire that want to get into entrepreneurship and business?
Yeah, great question. Number one, you don't have to wait till you retire. We have progressed. You played, 12 years, Thomas? Yeah. And so, I try to encourage a lot of athletes and coach a lot of athletes in that kind of business advisory entrepreneurship from the time they get into the league. I believe, 2 minutes a day is worth 2 hours on a Saturday. So just giving exposure. But the one thing that I think makes the biggest difference, and I know you have been a good student of this, is mentorship. Where I think athletes can succeed the most in the transition is to find somebody, I say 3 people, because I would never rely on one person, but find at least 3 people that sit in a situation that you want to be in. Because of your notoriety, because of the brand, which diminishes greatly as the years pass. When you retired your first year, that brand knowledge and awareness is so much higher than 5 years later. But if you get the mentorship, not only are you going to accelerate the learning curve about things that you didn't have time to learn about, but you're also going to be able to leverage the relationship capital of those mentors by using your brand and the assets that you've learned playing. One of the things I know about you is that you have all these transferable skills that you learned playing on the field, things like teamwork, integrity, character, doing the reps, as my friend Scott Gorman always says, do the reps, do the reps, do the reps. I call it the enjoyment of the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. I could go down a list of 25 things of why I would hire, or I think an athlete, especially a professional athlete, make the best entrepreneurs. But they can't do it on their own. Whether you're Marshall Falk, who I work with, or Warren Moon that I work with, or a variety of other guys, as you know, that I work with, all of them have such extraordinary skills and knowledge and desire, but they can't do it alone, and neither can I. And when I started taking on mentorship, that was the key success principle that helped me when I learned the 2 things. One, I'm going to suck my mentors dry of knowledge, and I'm going to leverage everybody they know to help me, and they're going to feel really good about it. And so it's a win-win-win. Does that sound fair?
No, that sounds great. That's incredible. just a lot of guys. I hope anyone, in general, anyone would need that information, but especially former pro athletes, because like I said, we give so much time, and also, it's kind of hard for certain guys. A lot of pro athletes are humble, but it's very hard to kind of start over, start from the bottom. So I love the point about mentorship and finding someone that's in a position that you want to be in and leveraging your brand. A lot of guys believe it or not, a lot of guys they wouldn't even think of those things, which is why I'm very appreciative of your page and the information and insight you give, man. So keep dropping gems, man. We appreciate it a lot. I love your page. I'm sure everyone that's calling in loves your page too. So appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Thomas. That's amazing, man. And please share the information with the other athletes as well, because I have a lot of them that feel the same way you do. And it's just a few little nudges. And fortunately for me, I've been around as an agent so many different athletes, but also making so much money at a young age. I know what radical humility is and how hard it is to ask for help and to not feel like you know everything. So I get it. I appreciate you, man. Call me anytime.
Got you. Thank you, brother.
Thanks, Steve. Well, even when you're an all-pro, yeah, everybody needs help. And that humility is so important to ask for help. And, some of the simple things that we talk about can change your life. I will tell you, whether you're a professional athlete or just getting out of college or trying to transition at middle age to a different career, those key principles apply to everybody. And humility, to me, I know I talk about gratitude a lot, and when I ask, what are the 2 words you think I have written everywhere, everybody thinks those 2 words are thank you. They're not. For me, that's inherent in my quantum nature, thank you. Gratitude is part of me. It's radical humility, because that's not part of me. It's quantum hole in my soul, man. I am not a being that was born radically humble. I don't allow things to happen at all times. I think I'm in control. My ego-based consciousness will take over with the need to be right or offended or superior or inferior or separate or angry or frustrated or anxious or resentful or all these different things. And I have to remind myself always, that I am blessed. I am here to be of service and to ask for service. Both of those take radical humility, to ask for help and to ask for others to allow them, as they come to you, to come through you for others. Radical humility, write it down, put it on your screensaver, on your notepads, on the back of your phone. I'm going to change my background from thank you to radical humility.
It's Michael Guerrero.
All right, we got our next call. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Hello.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, David. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, man, I am living the dream here to be of service. What about you?
The same, man. I appreciate your content, man. Seen you live a couple times now, and I'm just really taking it hard to be kind to my future self, especially in times like this of uncertainty. And my question for you was, so I'm in real estate marketing, and obviously with the times we're going through right now, there's a lot of uncertainty within realtors. A lot of people are calling to cancel their upcoming month. People are scared to spend money. So I just wanted to ask you, in your opinion, how do you approach the situation and still be of service and when people are in a time of retraction?
Right. First of all, people will be on the time of retraction for 3 to 6 weeks. So what we want to do is utilize our time to figure out the opportunities that do exist today and prepare for the future opportunities that are going to exist. Money doesn't disappear. Interest rates are dumped down, right? There's so many different opportunities to understand where we can be of service. People will remember right now, people are more available to talk to us, to get educated, to call and see how and what you can help them with. Imagine if you look and see, for example, one of the critical business issues in real estate right now is how people are going to make that missing month's rent, right? If I were, from my analysis, I'm a real estate guy as well. When I analyze opportunity, I say to myself, okay, people are going to miss a month's rent. What can I do to be of service? How can I provide value? Because if I can help people make that month's rent, if I can help that people negotiate to put that 1 month's rent onto the backside of the lease, or and help people with my knowledge of real estate and the laws and whatever it is, they'll never forget me when they get on their feet and they're ready to buy a new house or rent a new house or a commercial property or a strip mall or whatever it may be. Time does not fail me and money does not disappear. I'm going to be kind to my future self. I'm going to look and be more interested than interesting and find the opportunities of what people need and what resources I have, assets, knowledge, skills, and my desire to help. And I'm going to go out there and start telling people, hey, and I'm telling you right now, if you need help making your rent, then go ahead, give me a call. I will tell you different strategies, different help that I can give you. The only thing I can't do is give you a loan. It is not the Bank of David. I know I get hundreds of requests. I wish I had enough money, but my money goes to literally through me, predetermined at the beginning of the year, what percentage goes to my wife, my kids, my mom, my local community, my country, and the world. And it's predetermined, and I have a little discretionary fund to help out people in emergencies. But what I can do is I can help you get and find the money that you need during this time to stabilize yourself. And if I was a real estate person, I would make sure that I do the same thing for all of my past clients, my current clients, and my future clients. You have so much knowledge of real estate. You and I both know you could pop off the top 3 critical issues that people have today about real estate while this crisis is going on, this transition is going on, this transformation is going on, and you'll come out the other side so much better off and prepared for the next decade because everybody will remember you. All right?
Got it. And one quick follow-up.
Sure.
You mentioned the financial aspect of it. I know you said in the beginning of the year you kind of budget where your money's going to go. Is that something that you recommend doing monthly, or is it something you kind of do in the beginning of the year? Because even, with what's going on right now, just in the past 2 days, I've had 5 or 6 people hit me up for money, and so I'm sure you're familiar with that. What's a good way to say no but still be caring and, still be valuable to that person?
Yeah, to be honest, right? So because I budget my money yearly, and I've known that because when I lost all my money, people owed me almost $1 million, right? Almost $1 million, and that's just people that had come to me. Hey, my mom's losing her house. Can I borrow 10 grand? I had uncles that never told my aunts, here's 20 grand, and all types of different stuff that went on. But in the end, what I learned is if I predetermine my budget, including philanthropy, and I'm extremely generous, and I budget for it, I can be honest to people and say, hey, I'm unable to give you a loan, or I'm unable to give you that money because I don't have it budgeted, and all my money is budgeted through me to all these different places. If you need it for next year, then apply, and I'll see if I want to put you in my budget for 2021. But how can I help you, right? Do you need inspiration, motivation, relationships? Do you need my strategy, my knowledge, my dummy tax that I paid? Here's the problem with giving people money. All it does is make them be a person that needs money and that you gave money. There'll never be enough money for people who ask for that money, right? I don't let anyone borrow money. I'll give the money away, but it's you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. You teach a man to fish.
Right?
Exactly. So I'm here to teach everybody to eat, right? And I'm teaching them to stabilize and to look for opportunities. We repeat this over the next week, 2 hours a day. Stabilize, look for opportunities. And I'm going to help teach you whatever it is. Call me and say, how should I stabilize? And then other people are already stabilized. What opportunities exist? You are one of those people. Opportunity exists. Build these relationships by giving people that extraordinary knowledge that you have and help them with their 3 critical business issues in real estate. And you will come out of the other side of this with 3 times as much business, not just today, but literally next year and the year after. Everybody will remember the people that help.
Thank you for the clarity, David. I appreciate it so much.
You got it, my friend. Call me anytime.
Take care.
We got some great callers. I know Tommy Jones Jr., right? Was our first, just Tommy Jones. I think it may be Jr., but I'm not a huge memorization guy of names. But great running back from the Bears, nonetheless. And then even better, I see Tim Brown on there. He's the only punt returner I think that was better than me. No, that's not true. I don't think I'm in the same league as Tim Brown. But he's making his comment, and thank you, Tim. One of the guys that I love doing business with. Huge fan of him as a person. This man lives integrity, and he lives with the source of light, love, and lessons that run through him. And mentorship is key to him, both giving mentorship as well as receiving. And Tim, thank you so much for being on with us. And thank you. I wish you were there to mentor me about punt returning. I think I would have been a lot better than an average Division III football player. Anyway, who knows? My quantum nature may not have allowed it. We're going to give our next call. I see also Lester Smith, one of my oldest friends there. He is a great philanthropist. We have done tons of stuff together.
Devin from Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, Buckeye. It's a Buckeye alert. Hold on. I wonder if we can get Brutus on here. Did they take... Hey, yeah. Devin.
Oh, hey, what's up, man?
I'm looking at Brutus in my Ohio State Cup. I know you're from Columbus. Tell me you're a Buckeye fan.
Not really.
I'll still answer your question. What team do you like?
I'm a USC fan, actually.
USC, like out here in California, USC?
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, now you're breaking my heart, but that's all right. Sorry. All my local Orange County people are like, Dave, you got to give up your Buckeyes and come back to the Trojans. Anyway, what question you got for me?
I was just asking, how many different sources of income do you or do your peers have? I mean, I'm just wondering because I'm working on investing in stocks. I have my job, and then I own a food truck, side hustles, and it's just I'm trying to figure out what more I can do to add to my sources of income.
I love it, man. So I have one source of income at a time. That's the best way I can answer the question. I have one source of income at a time. It's like our mind, right? People don't realize this because they talk about multitasking. The mind only can focus in on one thing at a time. And so the people that can shift quickly and have a thought to another, they're seemed or perceived to be multitaskers. But you actually can only focus, your mind can only do one thing at a time. You cannot do two things at a time. You can speed up that process. The same thing in business, right? You can only make money one thing at a time. It's how quickly can you move and transition in a vertebrae so that your businesses are feeding your other businesses or your business is feeding other people's businesses. And most importantly, you're monetizing all of those with a profit with the least amount of interference or obstruction or interference that you could ever imagine. So I'm like you. I start, the legs feed the lion. So the top of the lion's legs are what makes me the most money, right? And then I see from that, where can my money make me more money? Where can that make me more money? Where are these other opportunities that I don't want to get involved with? Let me give you an example. I used to invest, right? I used to invest in the stock market. And every morning I'd get on my elliptical trainer, which was in my office, and very early, and I put on, my idol, financial idol, Maria Bartiromo, and you got to check her out on the playbook. She was one of my great guests, but she's, the first woman on the floor. But I would watch Maria every morning, get my stock tips, invest millions of dollars, and my whole day, that wasn't my job, but my whole day, if the market went up, I was in a good mood. If it went down, I was in a terrible mood. I would hurt my personal relationships and get in the way of my business. It would cause interference either way, whether I was too excited or too sad about what went on. And I bet you that I lost millions and millions of dollars, not just because the stock went up or down. I lost millions and millions of dollars because I could only focus on making money with one thing at a time. And I should have been focused on the legs feed the lion, the best thing that I make my money at, and then let it downstream to these other opportunities, utilizing the vertebrae approach and the referral approach of building a downstream and monetizing it. Let me tell you this, the market crashed or whatever it did and then went back, I don't even know what it does. I don't care. Because my investments are all guaranteed. All my investments, I worked with Marshall Falk on this, Al Manfrey, these guys are all on here. This is what I do. I invest in things that take no attention, but are guaranteed. Because If my stuff goes down, I make 2%. If it goes up, I make about 60 to 70% of what other people make, maybe 50% at times what other people make when the market rises. But that doesn't mean anything to me, because all those millions of dollars that I was losing every year watching Maria Bartiromo and thinking I understood the markets and, predicting whether, there would be a virus or there'd be a crash into a tower or, some other thing would happen that would make me lose millions and millions of dollars. I don't care anymore. All I'm focused in on is providing value and asking for help and making money from that. Because the more that I make, the more it comes through me for others. And so what I want you to do is remember two things. Legs feed the lion, vertebrae approach. The vertebrae consists of vertebrating the monetary opportunities down through your system and side hustles, as well as offspringing through the lumbar region to other opportunities where you can make a commission for handing off opportunities that are codified by a written agreement. When I say codified by a written agreement, don't think that people be offended when you're like, hey, can you sign this to codify that you're going to pay me this commission for handing off or making a referral. My basic referrals are 10% if I just say, hey, this is Justin, this is Steve, and you guys make money, I get 10%. If I say, hey, this is Justin, this is Steve, and I have to help Justin close Steve, I get 20%. That's on average. But I ask people to codify it with a written message. I'll tell you why. Because my memory sucks. I tell people all the time, I'm not trying to offend you that I don't trust you, but I want to make sure that I've written down everything that I promised to do so I don't forget to do it. So that is true, but it also takes the offense out of people going, oh, trust me. Hey, I got no problem. I trust you, but I got to write it down because I don't trust my memory. I've been equipped with really faulty equipment. I got 5 senses that are inaccurate and a memory that's inaccurate. So let's write this down so I have an accurate documentation of what I owe you, what I'm supposed to do, and what you're supposed to do. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it makes sense. And it's, the part that you hit on about the stocks definitely makes sense. I mean, I find it changing my mood. I mean, I'll sit here watching it all day. I work from home. I'm a graphic designer. So I'll be sitting here with my phone next to me just kind of watching what I have go up and down. And I didn't ever think about it like that, how it could affect my mood throughout the day and kind of stop me from the other things I'm doing.
Oh, yeah. Give it a look and attention. And then if you're a graphic designer, go ahead and send me some samples, man. We'd love to see those. I'm always looking for some good people. And, we can help more people with your skill set and give you more exposure and awareness. So go ahead. Anybody that's a graphic designer, reach out to me. I love seeing samples of that stuff. Cartoonists, anybody out there that thinks they have something that I can use to help people with and help promote you and build awareness to what you're doing and drive more revenue. With what you enjoy and what you're skilled at, would love to help. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, that sounds awesome, man. Appreciate it.
You got it, my friend. Thank you so much. Keep your eye on the ball. The legs feed the lion, everybody. Remember the vertebrae approach of generating revenue within your own side hustles as well as handing them off to others and then codifying those in writing because you have faulty equipment, bad senses and a bad memory. So we got to go ahead and codify things that has nothing to do with trust or like, by the way. These are a few of the basic gems that I like to teach in my one-on-one coaching, my club coaching. Don't forget tomorrow, Bruce Tollner is going to join me. We're going to start at 8 a.m. Pacific time, 9:15. The Bruce Tollner, that's right, the man from Rep 1. He's going to join us to talk about careers. Very, very excited. Troy.
Yes, sir.
Hey, it's David Meltzer.
How are you?
I am terrific. Thank you so much for taking the time and joining me on this live to help everybody and hoping that you could help us with your questions and see how everybody can learn from them.
Great. Well, I sent over 2 questions, the first of which is obviously in the sports arena with everything either being canceled or pushed. In your opinion, how do you see the sports world rebounding, and at what type of pace do you think this will? Because this impacts jobs, not just athletes, but you look at everything from restaurants, hotels, parking, etc. So ultimately, sports impacts the economy pretty heavily. So what kind of pace do you see a recovery for sports here?
So the pace of recovery for sports is going to be tremendous, and that's because people buy on emotion for logical reasons. The only thing people are more emotional about than sports, as far as sales go, is their kids. And so what's going to happen, in a 3 to 6 week period, there's going to be a pent up need, right? So right now, my biggest concern is that nobody has anything to do, which means 9 months from now, the hospitals are going to be really crowded with new babies. But after that point, there's going to be a ton of guys watching sports, and women, by the way, I apologize. A ton of people watching sports. And yes, those companies that understand stabilization and opportunity, the ones that can stabilize right now during the 3 to 6 week period, as they start rescheduling and putting sports back online, right? The people that can stabilize and take the losses in the short term are going to be able to maximize the opportunity, whether they're in concessions or hospitality or events or sponsorship. Look, the budgets for sponsorships, money doesn't disappear. They're not going anywhere. They don't have anywhere to put their money. Right? One of the opportunities that exists for guys like me is I have big companies calling me because they wanted branded content with me because they can't put it on the Lakers. Right? I'm no Kobe, but let's be honest, there's an opportunity here because people have budgets and they want eyeballs. They want to sell different products. And so sports are going nowhere. They've never gone anywhere. And the key to this is stabilization. Those people in all those industries that are going to be affected, let's be abundant. Let's stabilize the economy. Let's take care of those people that have created our businesses if we can. Some businesses will not recuperate, right? There's some businesses that live month to month and that, they may have 50 franchises and, 1 month of, employees being gone because they're part-time employees, they're young employees, their leases are up. If there may be no coming back for those businesses, and it may take a little bit of time. But in the end, there's huge opportunities available for those that can find it, and the key is stabilization first, and study the opportunities for when everything transitions back to the most emotional thing. I built one of the biggest sports agencies in the world at the time. We used to say it's the irrationality of middle-aged men being pointed out. My brother is on here. The Law of Goya Master, Get Off Your Ass, John Asseroff. If anyone has not read Inner Size or seen John Asseroff, that's one of my mentors. This guy is kindness in a big body. He is kindness in a handsome big body. This man is incredible. But anyway, back to the sports side. What was your second question?
The second question is, how do you attract and build a strong, especially on the sports arena, advisory board?
Great question. And these, what I love about this crisis situation is I get the wide spectrum of questions. This is one question that nobody asks, and it's so critical, and it can be asked any time of the year when things are going great or things are going bad. I'm a huge proponent of advisory boards, and I build advisory boards for companies because advisory boards can make a company, and let me tell you how. One, focus in on one key person that has the network that you want to be on your advisory board. And it can be for compensation or not, determinative upon the emotional attachment to your business. But if you find the right advisory board member and you have one ask and one requirement. So an advisory board has no liability, it has no responsibility, there's no compliance to an advisory board. It's a symbolic type of partnership or position. But you could have an advisory board, and everybody, the advisory boards that I build, have one ask and one requirement. So usually I build an advisory board by finding the most powerful, biggest branded person I can and make his ask or her ask to build the advisory board. And then the requirement that I have is usually one meeting a year online. So I know it's a very small ass requirement as that goes. And each advisory board member, so when people come to me to be on their advisory board, right, I create my agreement with them, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it. My responsibility or ask is build the advisory board under the context of everyone I build the advisory board will have one ask and one requirement. And then I'll go to John Asseroff and I'll say, John, you are an expert at this. Can you please help me with building a team and motivating a team, and your only requirement is this. Then I go and I ask John, do you know anybody else, whatever, and then, there's, Draper, and I go, hey, Tim, you're the VC of startups. You got the Draper Academy, the Draper University. Can you help me fund this thing? That's my only request of you, and we have one requirement to join us. And then we go over to, John Brand.